Welcome to the Pivot Experience podcast, where leadership transformation isn't just a concept, it's a journey we take together. This is where real leaders share real stories about the moments that changed everything. In each episode, we dive deep into the pivotal experiences that transformed good leaders into great ones. Whether you're a seasoned executive, a rising star in your organization, or someone ready to take that next big step in your leadership journey, you're in the right place. Get ready to learn, grow, and maybe even find that spark that ignites your own leadership pivot. This is the Pivot Experience podcast, where your next breakthrough starts here.
Hey guys, what's up? It's your friend, Pastor John R. Adolph from the Antioch Church in Beaumont, Texas. Hey, listen, do me a favor, like, share, and subscribe this channel so you can continue to pivot into your next.
Today we are live at Lead Better. We're so excited to have you guys here with us today. My name is Alex Hill, and I have worked for the world's most caring company now for the last 20 plus years. And I've had the pleasure of working with a lot of great coaches here at TPE, and I would like to introduce them to you at this time. First and foremost, we have Ashley Allison, who is a person that I have the pleasure with working together with. At the same time, I mean, we do this on the side. She keeps us together. She is our administrative arm here, and she also does a fantastic job with coaching a lot of our clients. Also, we have Giovanna Roach. Now, Giovanna, if you were popping in, she was already kind of getting the meeting together, already kind of talking it up and everything. She's been around for, you said 25 years just a moment ago. So she's been with the world's most caring company for 25 years. And so she has a ton of experience. And she goes by the nickname, the Gavel. And so if you know anything about that, you know what she's about, you know what she does. Neff is not on the line with us today, but he is our bilingual specialist. And so everything we do here in English is also offered in Spanish, and Neff anchors that piece of the business for us. And so if you guys had any interest in having Spanish coaching done, we can provide it for you guys as well. And Neff would be the person to do that. And the newest kid on the block is Abram. And I want to shout out Abram real quick. He is actually in pursuit of becoming an operator, and he just, hopefully I'm okay to say this, but he just finished his first round of interviews, and so we're excited for him. He's currently tinkering with getting his MBA and pursuing being an operator. I don't know if one becomes before the other, that if he's still pursuing the one, but no, we're so glad to have him a part of this team. And I just want to tell you guys that Lead Better is our free virtual offering that we have every fourth Sunday of the month to try to help you guys and help ourselves become better leaders. We understand that there's a lot of content out there that you can consume. There's a lot of things that's happening on a Sunday, but taking this time out to sharpen your blade of leadership is very, very important. And so without further ado, I was recommended this young lady by one of the coaches here. I had actually been running into her between the Facebook group over here or LinkedIn over there. I kept seeing this name pop up and pop up and pop up. And then until one day, Giovanna said, "Hey, I know her. We should have her on Lead Better." And I said, sure. So we reached out and I looked at her resume, which is pretty impressive. I mean, an extensive career in coaching, an extensive career in leadership development. I don't want to steal too much of her thunder. I'm gonna let her introduce herself. But on today's Lead Better, would you guys help me welcome Elise Moore to the stage? She's already here, but Elise, I'm gonna get you pinned. There we go. We got you pinned on. Elise, how are you doing today?
I am great. Can you hear me? Okay, because it said I had my mic off for a second.
No, you sound well. Okay. You sound good. You sound coming.
I'm great. I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm fantastic. So before we get into the meat of our conversation, one, I would like for you to give your elevator pitch to the room, and then after that we're gonna go into an icebreaker. Okay. So who is Elise Moore? Okay.
So I am a serial multi-passionate entrepreneur. That's the really short version. I love many, many things. I'm currently renovating this house that I'm in. Like 6 months ago, it looked like a piece of trash. I like trying new things. I really enjoy learning about new things. But my largest sin in my career has been in the Chick-fil-A circle. So my dad's an operator. I grew up in the business. I like to say that his first day on the job was also my first day, because that's true. And so we were both really nervous walking to the store. I was 11. He was like 40 something. And I remember looking up at the stack of trays, and I didn't cuss at the time, but in my 11-year-old brain was probably saying a cuss word. Like, oh my gosh, how do I, like, they were so much taller than me. So that was like the beginning of my Chick-fil-A career. And I worked in the store until the end of like midway through college. And then I worked for Impact 360, which is like a branch of Chick-fil-A. So I loved my time there. And I got a lot of different exposure to different parts of the brand there, and then found coaching. So that's where I got into the coaching world. And I've been coaching Chick-fil-A adjacent people for a long time, but I've recently started to branch out into other industries as well, which I'm really liking. So that's like a really quick version, but we'll get into more, I'm sure.
No, that was awesome. So there's a thing that we like to do here on Lead Better called Tug of War, where I'm going to give you a set of words that it seemed like you need both of them, but you have to pick one. Okay.
You also prepped me for these, and I intentionally didn't read them because I want you to get my gut. So I'm just letting you know that.
Just letting them know how the sausage is made, but that's okay.
I'm sorry, I just outed you.
No.
You're like, you didn't get those from me.
yeah, I don't know. Giovanna might have screenshotted them somewhere, and since you might have thought you got them from me, but you didn't get it from me.
That's funny.
Anyway, so I've got 2 words, and so again, these words may make you feel like you have to have both, but you have to choose one, and you have to give us the reason why you chose one over the other. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, so the first set of words is empathy. Wait, before we do this, guys who are listening and who are on, I want you to put your choice in the chat, right? While she's thinking about what she wants to say, you put your answer in the chat of what you would pick, and we might look at those maybe later on today. So first set of words, I'm sorry, empathy or accountability?
Okay, this was actually one that I did look at because it was the first one. So I would choose accountability. And the reason why is because I think true accountability requires empathy. Like, you have to have a level of understanding for other people and yourself to have true accountability. So it kind of hits 2 birds. I don't know if that's cheating, but that's what I'm going with.
I suppose we'll take that one.
I mean, think about it. You can't be like, you can say you're accountable. You can be a jerk. You can be like, oh yeah, I got my goals done. But true accountability, like in relationship with people, requires empathy. It does.
Well, it's love.
Yeah.
Like, you really love someone, and Elise, you don't have kids. I have kids. My 17-year-old probably would, if I asked him this, hey, if I truly love you, what am I going to do? He's like, you're going to spank me. I mean, not anymore, but I'm going to punish him because I want him to be a better person. And so when there's love, if you truly love somebody, you're going to have the hard conversation. You're going to do the hard thing. You're going to do the work. So I kind of agree with that. Hey, one day I was just thinking about this, Alex. I know this is kind of like sideways.
It's all good.
We should totally
already went sideways. It's okay.
We should totally put these one day, like when we have it, because he does this to every guest speaker. Like, just put them in a row. Like, hey, we're just gonna play this question and like what everyone said.
I like that.
Cool.
We will retool this thing after this one.
Keep going.
All right. So next set of words: innovation or consistency.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna say innovation because I would personally pick that one. I don't think everybody should pick that one. But innovation gives space to make things better. And I think, again, you can have consistency in innovation. But I tend to think more innovatively. I do not do the same thing the same way every day at all. Like, I need more consistency in my life, but I tend to gravitate toward innovation. Like, I'll think of something new and I'm like, ooh, let me just try it. Like, that's the perk of running your own thing. You can just try it. You know that.
Yeah. And I think you said the best thing that, I don't know if that's you're going to say all night. And Ashley's laughing because I think she knows what you said when you said it, is that I'm going to pick that. I don't think everybody else should, but I'm going to pick that because I that's exactly how I feel too. Like,
no, that's him.
I'm gonna lean into the innovation. Y'all just kind of consistently help me get it done. Like, I'm gonna go over here and do that. We're gonna innovate, but I need some people around me that's gonna help me kind of consistently get that done. So no, I love that.
They're called finishers.
I love that.
They're called finishers. You need some finishers because
Well, y'all know the SpongeBob episode where he has like all the file cabinets and he's running around from one thing to the next? That's Alex, but like his ideas are like this. I'm like,
Oh gosh.
Yeah, no, that I love that. I'm gonna have to keep that right here. That statement. I'm gonna use that. All right, next one. Clear expectations or freedom?
Clear expectations all day. Clear expectations bring freedom. I think I literally have a job because there aren't clear expectations in the workplace. I'm employed because of that. Like most of the people tension I work with is around a lack of clear expectations. So I've seen it bring freedom, so much freedom to people. So yeah.
Oh, I agree with that one too. And here's the last one. It's results or relationships.
Alex. Okay. I'm a relationships person. So I'm going to say relationships. Results are really important, but I tend to lean relationships. If you know me, I think you would agree with that.
Yeah. I
see relationships in the comments too.
Yeah, it is. And I'm just going to refer back to the other comment that you made earlier today. Like, somebody has to pick relationships. No, I'm sorry, results. And everybody else in my brain can pick the relationships. But I'm working on it.
Yeah,
I'm trying to get better at it. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for playing. And so we want to jump into the meat of our conversation. And one of the first things I want to bring up is your background is so diverse. You just talked about your early career in Chick-fil-A, your work at Impact 360. You've done some executive coaching. Now you're out on your own, right? And so how has this unique perspective shaped your approach in helping leaders develop communication strategies that work across different organizational levels?
Yeah. So, I think I have enjoyed working with all kinds of different people and organizational levels. I mean, I'm not very old at this point, but I remember being 18 and being like a leader that's like, let's go. I remember being like 20 and 22 and 25, and I just turned 28. So that's as far as I've gotten so far. But I think what I've realized in this work through both Impact 360 and then working in coaching for the last 5 years is the reverse psychology of it all. Like when you focus on who you want to become more than like what you want, most of the time you'll end up getting it. And when you focus on like becoming someone of character and purpose and that values people and lives out of their values, like you most of the time get what you want. We all work with a lot of people in the Chick-fil-A space. If people are on here and are wanting to become operators or get into LDP or TDP, I have this term called Chick-fil-A thirsty. I'm sorry if it's offensive, but I come across a lot of Chick-fil-A thirsty people that I'm like, they will literally sell their soul in order to become an operator. And that's a big red flag. And I will tell people very quickly in my coaching with them that I think they're thirsty, that they're Chick-fil-A thirsty. Because I'm like, listen, if I can pick up on it, an interviewer can pick up on it. And so it's been interesting because it started as a gut feeling with me of like something feels off with this person, like they're not really living in their values. And as I've done coaching more and more and more, I've realized it's really this like reverse psychology concept. And I've been thinking a lot about this in my personal life too, that if you really reverse it and start with the who you are, if you and you can't just say you're starting there. Like you can't just say you're starting there. If you really start there, then you'll see success. And so I've seen that through all the different experiences I've had, like Impact 360, even the students who came with like a sureness of who they were usually tended to do better because it's just confidence, less anxiety. Like, golly, it's so anxious to not know who you are. Ugh, I hate it. I experience it like often. So I don't know. That was a kind of a long-winded answer, but the reverse psychology, when I read that question, I was like, oh, it comes back to this. Start with who you are. Go from there. And you can do that at any point in your career. You can do it when you're 50. You can do it when you're 16.
So hold on, Alex. I got to jump in. Sometimes I have to go like this. So Elise, I was listening to you on a podcast, and don't ask what podcast it was because I don't remember. You were interviewed on a podcast. oh, maybe it was the guy that we had on before Alex. I can't remember his name.
Right.
Brad. Maybe it was with Brad.
I love Brad. I know him well.
Okay, so I think maybe it was with him. But something you said stood out to me, and it's funny because I actually use this in coaching people who want to go into LDP and stuff like that. But you were talking about when you are working with people who want to interview for Chick-fil-A, how you coach them through that with vision, values, and mission. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. So this is my secret sauce, and I don't care if you take it and use it because I think it's really important. But I always start with helping people understand their vision, values. I think Giovanna, you and I did some of this work together. And when you start with your vision and values, like, again, when you're prepping to become a Chick-fil-A, whatever, they're like, oh, well, have your vision and values ready. So it can quickly become like a checklist. Like, okay, let me get my vision and values so that I can speak to them well. And so then you go and do all these exercises and get all these words and you like feel really good about it. You practice them. But the work that I do with people is I help them live them. I help them feel them, because there's a question we used to ask at my old job where we would ask, which values would you die for? Which ones did you die for? Where you're like, this is who I am, and I would give anything up to keep this value of mine. For me, one of mine is positive forward movement. I will always be pushing something forward. Always. I do it in like my exercises. I do it with this stupid house I'm working on. I do it with my business. I do it with relationships. Like, it's a part of me. And it took a lot of time to figure out. You want to know what helps me figure out that value? The stupid automatic doors at grocery stores that don't open fast enough and stop my forward movement. I was like, what pisses me off? Like, what triggers me? Automatic doors that are too slow. And I realized like it's connected to a value of mine. And so when I started to feel that value, I started to understand how it played out in my life. I saw how it played out in my story, and it helped me present better. It helped me know who I am and to where I can just speak to something. I think in the same way, if you understand, like, these are my pillars, like, you can shake me, but you won't shake these pillars. It's just who I am. You can come at me. You can give me a low volume store. You can give me like crazy team members, and you can give me all these issues, but I won't be shaken because I just know who I am. And then once we have values, we look at the story, because usually your life story, your values have been threaded in that story. And if you can understand those things, you can present your story in a way that's compelling and like honest. But it starts with really hard work. And I think I'm about to shut up, I promise. The word values can tend to be like, it can feel fluffy. It's like, when you're like, oh, cool, we're going to do values work. Ugh, it's cute. And I wish there was another word that was like sexier to describe it, because it's truly, I think, the bedrock of success for people. But we do hard work. I mean, I'm sometimes like, and there have been clients that have fired me because it's just too intense, and that's okay. Like, I don't have to be everybody's coach, but the ones that stick it out with me and they get vulnerable with me and they stay present with me and they figure out what they're about, it gets me excited. They just like do their thing, and then they usually get what they want. And I'm like, there's something to this. So that's kind of the process. And it's not copy and paste. Like for Camry, you're the one that's like in your TDP process, right? For you, it might look completely different than Giovanna, than Abram, than myself. Like, you might need to just like blurt out your life story, and then we kind of pull your values out of that. Some people might need an exercise to help them. Some people might need a pit stop at therapy for like 3 months before they really understand their values. And that's okay. And that's why coaching is essential. That's why we all have like really important jobs here. So that's kind of my framework for it. I could talk about it for like weeks.
I just wanted you to say, to communicate that, because it's something that really stood out with, like, when you said that, because it's funny, when you get clients, and we're talking about our clients, and there's some of them are on here, but like when you get these clients, it's like, it's not, you don't do I've tried to even tell Alex, like, there's no framework for it, because it's different for every person. And the way that you pull it out of different people, you have them do different exercises and different things. Like, it's not like hey, fill out this values thing, and then like yeah, it doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
And everybody's story, I think one thing I would just kind of add to that, Elise, is like your story is uniquely your story.
Mm-hmm.
And you try to make it Chick-fil-A, it's a no automatically.
It's a no automatically.
It's a no automatically. So you have to make sure that you are and I think that's where understanding who you are, it helps you tell your story in a way that shows your unique gifts and talents.
Mm-hmm.
And
then no matter who asks you, you can get asked from like the scariest interviewer at Chick-fil-A or the nicest one, or like your screening interview or your final. Like, if you know who you are and what you're about, that's actually what Chick-fil-A really wants to know. I can't speak for other businesses as much. They might focus a little bit more on interview skills, but I talked to a franchisee selection person recently, and he was like, we really just want to know who these people really are, like underneath it all. And that was really helpful for me, because I was like, oh, you're not like trying to scam people? And he's like, no, we really want to know who you are. And one other thing I'll add is, when sometimes my clients get a temporary no before they get a yes, and it's the best thing ever for them. And I know you feel like your world might literally be crashing down, and it might be, but with the character like change that I see happen with those clients actually sets them up for success within the program and or the store. And it's so hard. It's like a pride stab. You're just like, are you kidding? But it's so good. It's so good too. So,
and I think when you can actually say, like, I was talking to somebody that works for us is trying to get into the program, and I she actually got told no, and just had been doing some work. She actually is working with Elise now too. And one thing I asked her last week, so I asked her all kinds of questions, and I said, what would change about what you do if you got told no this time? And she's like, literally nothing. She's like, I'd come back. And I think when you can actually say that is when you're actually ready. Like, you're actually ready when you can say, hey, like, if I get told no tomorrow, I'm just going to keep impacting people. I'm just going to keep driving business. Like, I'm going to keep at it. I am going to work on the things that they think I need to work on, or, grow. I'm going to continue to grow. But when you can really say, like, this doesn't define me, that to me is when I see the most comfort in interviewing. It's like, this doesn't define me. Like, I'm excited about this opportunity, and if that's what the Lord has for me, really great. But I know that I'm going to get to where I'm supposed to go. That's when with a client, I'm like, okay, you're ready. Like, you're going to go kill it.
Yeah.
So, okay, Alex, back to your question list.
No. This was great. I mean, y'all can keep it going. No, I think I couldn't agree with both of you guys anymore. I've heard in my past dealings with people who are trying to become operators, they're Chick-fil-A thirsty, and it's like, hey, who are you beyond the opportunity? And it's like, who are you going to be if you got this opportunity? Is that it? That there has to be more substance to you. First of all, there's already substance, but there has to be more realized substance to you than the opportunity itself. I think sometimes I love the brand that we work for. I love the company that we work for. Such high standards, high brand, just a high bar on everything. And I think sometimes that bar is so high, and we're chasing that we forget who we are, because we're trying to mold ourselves behind that legacy, which is in a sense nothing wrong with that, but don't lose yourself in that. And so I think this kind of segues us perfectly into the next question, because I wanted to talk about the Chick-fil-A thirsty people. And the next thing we're going to talk about is, one of the most transformative experiences that you've possibly have had as a coach with Bridge. And I'm hoping it's from one of these Chick-fil-A thirsty peeps that became one of themselves thirsty. I don't even know if that's I'm creating a new phrase there, but a person that's transitioned
regular thirsty.
yeah they came normal thirsty. Can you talk about a time where you've had a client where you've just seen a dramatic shift in their communication, and can you speak to that, where they were, how'd you get them there, and what was the end result?
Yeah. Okay. So two people come to mind. I'm going to share two stories. One's quick. So this one guy, he came to work with me, and he actually worked at a Chick-fil-A, and he, I think he was in Texas actually. And he was like a GM. I think they were multi-unit, pretty high level leader, really competent, really smart, had a family, like had all his ducks in a row. And he came to me, and like the first time, I usually ask pretty quickly, like, okay, what are you going to do if you get told no? And then I also asked, like, why do you want to do this? Don't think about answering a stupid interview question. Just tell me why. Like, why do you want to do this? So he starts talking, and quickly I was like, I don't believe him. I just don't believe him. I don't think he's telling, like, I don't think he feels this. I don't think he's telling the truth. And I will say, after 5 years, like, a lot of my job at this point is my gut. And it usually is not too far off. And so and for me, it's courage to lean into my gut, because usually it involves an uncomfortable conversation. In fact, Javon, I remember a couple of times with you where I was like, I'm scared to say this. And so with him, I was like, hey, I'm just sensing that this might not be all the way how you feel. You know, is there more? Where are you at? And he was kind of appalled that I pushed back. And so he was already in the process. Like, I think he was in the operator process. So we dug a little bit more, and I gave him some challenge about just like really digging into his why. And so he came back that we kept working on it. A few sessions later, he came back and he was like, I pulled my application. And I was like, he was like, my real lifelong dream is to be a pilot. And so I applied to flight school today, and I'm planning to go. And he sent me a photo about a year later, and he was standing by, this made me cry. He was standing by an airplane, and he was like, I'm literally living my dream. I was like, this is why I do this. So it was so awesome. So that was the cool story of like me challenging, and then him finding a really beautiful thing outside of Chick-fil-A. Period. Yay, celebration. Next story is this girl who wanted to get into LDP. Very similar. First couple sessions, I was like, oh, she's going to fire me. Like, I really need some better job security, Elise, pulled together. Like, I can't keep telling the truth because I'm going to get fired. Anyways. So she comes back, and she was like, our last session, I hated it. And I was like, okay, pride, take a seat, ego, sit down for a second. I was like, okay, tell me why. So we talked about it. We got really honest. But she was like, I think I want to dig in though. I think I want to dig in. And I'm not sure what that looks like yet, but I think I want to dig in. And I was like, let's go. So we worked together for about 6 months. She applied to LDP, got told no, and pivoted a couple things, tweaked a couple more things, and she got told yes, and is like crushing it in LDP right now. Like, she's killing it. And so that was cool because she gave me her trust at the very beginning. She like took the pushback, gave me her trust, trusted the process, trusted the no, and is thriving. And that's the thing I was thinking about when I got your questions is a lot of people think about the interview. Then you have to actually do it. Then you have to actually run the business. Like, you have to become the operator. You have to excel in LDP. Like, you can get in, but then what, you know? And so what I'm thinking about is like, what kind of leader do you want to be? Like, what kind of person do you want to be? Like, what do you want people to say about you in 10 years when their kids come work for you? Like, that'll change the way you show up a little bit. And so she dug in so hard and is just thriving, and it's really, really cool. So those are two big like stories to support it.
So I have two things. One, I want to comment on the, I think you started talking a little bit about like legacy when you talk about the type of leader you want to be. And I feel like sometimes when you're in your individual restaurant, that's not really the priority.
Mm-hmm.
You know, your operator isn't really looking at you, speaking to those guys who are coming to you from that capacity, right? The operator's not really looking for you to build legacy. He's building or she's building legacy. You're there to help partner and manage the business. And so I think a lot of times you're blinded by that. And you understand that you have what it takes to run the business.
Mm-hmm.
However, but like, do you have what it takes to instill a legacy or instill, let's leave a wake? I mean, Dr. Henry Cloud has this study long time ago. We used to talk about like, what are people walking in your wake? You know, as you move through the organization, or as you move through life, like what is that trail that you're leaving behind that people want to follow behind? And I think a lot of leaders miss that point.
Hey guys, what's up? It's your friend, Pastor John R. Adolph from the Antioch Church in Beaumont, Texas. And I just want to slip this in right quick so you'll never forget. It's all about progress over perfection here at TPE.
Tap into the Pivot Experience where we help young, hungry entrepreneurs move on to the next step.